guys, Ray from Whimsical Pictures here. Been a long time this time. But I don't really want to go into any reasons why I've been on hiatus, I guess. First of all, because this is a hobby and I can do what I want. And second of all, because I may have been gone from this channel, but I have been around the internet and other places. Of course, I am far too active on Twitter, just like the rest of us. But also, I am the co-host of a manga podcast called Read Right to Left, along with my good friend G over on her channel, Simply G. We talk about a wide variety of different manga topics and specific titles. Our most recent episode was for Pride Month, and we were talking about LGBTQ manga in English. And yeah, so if you have interest in that at all, I'll leave the link to that episode and to the podcast in the description below. But otherwise, that actually ties in pretty well to the manga that I am going to be reviewing today, which is a short and sweet little Yuri manga, available digitally through DMP's Yuri Doujinshi Independent Yuri label, Lilyka, which I will talk about a little more at the end of the video. The title I'm going to be talking about is actually one that I had seen promoted on a few different people within the Yuri community that I follow. Promoted on their Twitters and stuff. I've seen some positive reviews for it, some positive buzz, and just never really got around to picking it up myself. This is a short little book called Shiori and Yuki by the author Toi. Toi is on Twitter, so I will leave her Twitter down there as well as Lilyka's. And yeah, it's just a really cute book. It's about 80 pages long, and it's adorable. It is a Yuri manga about two adult women, one of whom is named Shiori, and she is a divorced single mother working at a bank, with a daughter in kindergarten named Chi. And the other woman, she ends up running into when she's working on some construction. Her name is Yuki. She works a variety of different part-time jobs, trying to save up money to start her own kind of jack-of-all-trades company. A very handsome working woman. And it's just sort of the day-to-day slice-of-life adventures of these two women growing together. I think immediately feeling the spark of attraction for each other, which I really like to see in Yuri. I think there's one offhand thought where Shiori, who thought she was straight and, throughout the book realizes that she's actually bi. There's one tiny little panel where she's like, oh, but she's a girl. And then it's never brought up again. These are just two queer women who are just immediately just attracted to each other as women. They think each other are really hot, which seems like such a simple thing, but it's Yuri manga. I'm so sick of how incredibly sexless it is, right? I feel like we're always saying this, but this one, even though it doesn't have any explicit content at all, it's very sweet. But these two women, their queer attraction and their queer identities are woven throughout the work very naturally, which is nice and refreshing, and wonderful. So, yeah, overall, I really enjoyed this book. It's definitely, my thing. It practically has "For Ray," printed on the cover. I love these titles about, you know, queer parents and single parents. Um, I love it in BL. This is the first time I've seen it in Yuri, honestly. No, no, no. That was false. It's the second time I've seen it in Yuri. I think Seven Seas or somebody recently licensed Umineko So Days, uh, which is by Naoko Kodama, the creator of NTR Trap. And that one also has kind of that kind of parenting setup, and it's also very cute. Um, I'm not sure what else to say about this one. It has a very strong kind of butch femme dynamic, but I really like how natural the two characters feel. They feel very much like women that I would just meet, you know, like at um, our local gay club or whatever. And that's nice. In particular, as a femme who usually doesn't really have much of a problem with the high femme aesthetic of Yuri manga. I liked in this one that Shiori to me, she felt very similar to like my femme aesthetic, I guess, if that makes sense. Like she's a very elegant, beautiful woman who cares about keeping up her appearance and looking feminine and looking cute and beautiful. But she's also very like assertive and strong in her own way, and I appreciated that. I don't know if that made sense, but I feel like the femme aesthetic that you get in Yuri is usually like doe-eyed high school girls, which can be an aesthetic, you know. It's cute, you know, but it doesn't necessarily feel as authentic, at least to my experience, as these women did. They felt like I could go out on the street right now and run into one of them. Um, of course, the little girl is also adorable. Um, she's not really written with a whole lot of depth. There's not a whole lot of depth to be found in this story. It's very much what you see is what you get. Do you want some cute lesbians? Here you go. But she is very adorable. She does feel very much like a kid, um, making dumb jokes and like being selfish about weird things and selfless about weird things and just kind of having the logic of a child. I thought the little jokes that were about that rang really true to my experience with kids of that age, which I thought was very cute, you know? So, I think that if you just want like some cute Yuri fluff, this is really sweet. It's really sweet. Um, it's not as polished as like a professionally published Yuri manga that like ran in a magazine or whatever. It's a little rough around the edges, a little amateurish, but very, very sweet. And I enjoyed it and I recommend it. And I want to kind of finish out by talking a little bit about Lilyka as a label. Um, First of all, I'm very grateful to them for graciously providing me with this digital copy of Shiori and Yuki, just to be fully transparent. Um, that I was provided it in exchange for an honest review, which is what I gave you. Um, yeah, so very grateful to them for that, thank you. And this project, I guess, is really focused on bringing doujinshi and independent Yuri works to an English-speaking audience. There is quite a wide variety in their catalog, so I definitely recommend looking through that. There's some weird like niche stuff in there that's like you don't really see coming from other publishers, I guess. One in particular that I think I'm going to check out is like an action comic about these like really buff ladies and that's just not an aesthetic or like a body type that you see portrayed in Yuri manga at all, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So that'll probably be my next foray into Lilyka manga personally, but they have anything from like your cutesy kind of moe high school girl stuff to more stuff like Shiori and Yuki that's focused on adult women. They have some OL Yuri manga, which also something that I am got my eye on. And they've got like these weird things like this buff lady action manga that are just kind of out there and I don't think would even get a second glance if it were not for the existence of this label. To get into some of the messier stuff, I guess, Lilyka is a label off of Digital Manga Publishing, DMP, who certainly their Kickstarter campaigns have a history of being a little sketch. I think they do have a certain reputation among manga readers that may give people pause here. And, I will say that, with like Tokyo Pop and stuff, there unfortunately have been cases in the history of manga publishing in English where, amateur, independent comic creators have been exploited for their naivete, essentially. And I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes here. I'm not going to make any judgments there because I don't know. But I will say that I think that it is valuable that this label exists to give a platform in English to these lesser known creators, to these more diverse creators, to these more diverse Yuri titles. I think that these are stories that deserve to be translated into English, that deserve to be available to the English audience, and I'm happy that they do exist. So, yeah, I am going to leave Lilyka's Twitter down below. I am also going to leave, of course, their website where you can purchase Shiori and Yuki or any of their other titles for yourself. Yeah. I have been looking at this label for a long time, and I'm happy to say that they seem to have some very quality titles for Yuri readers. I feel like it's a bit of a lesser known thing that exists. So I hope some of you will check out their website and their catalog and see if there's anything there that you have been missing from the Yuri output elsewhere. That's going to be all from me today, I think. Talk to you next time. Bye.